What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with the one, the only,
Gershwan!
And welcome back to another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below, put question in front of your question, because get to those questions first. And that is what Lowell Harp did. He asks, I know you like the Orcs, but without bias, who would win between the Tyranids and the Orcs?
Now, before we get into that, do you want to separate it by like troop versus troop, elite versus elite, or just in general?
Just in general. I'm going to go ahead and say Tyranids. Again, non-bias. Because if you read the lore, we don't know how big the Tyranids are. They could be like encircling the galaxy.
They could be.
And if that's the case, then no amount of orcs can stand a chance.
But the more orcs die, the more spores you get out. So eventually, won't the orcs overpopulate
the Tyranids?
The Tyranids?
Based on the lore of the
Octavius sector?
Right. No. The Tyranids were actually able to push the orcs back so far that they had to go to their home world of Octarius, I think it's called. So it wasn't until God School arrived that they were able to push them back. So I think in that scenario, there is no reinforcements because there's only orcs in the Milky Way galaxy. So the Tyranids would destroy the orcs. Non-bias and making the assumption that there are more Tyranids out there. If we're just dealing with the Tyranids that exist right now, the orcs got it. Because the orcs are more numerous than, what is it, 5 Hive Fleets or 6 Hive Fleets?
Well, there's Hive Fleet Leviathan, Hive Fleet Behemoth, the Hive Fleet that fights against Chaos. I forget what it's called. Kraken.
Hive Fleet Kronos, I think.
So that's already 5. And I'm sure we're missing some. Plus there's some that haven't been discovered yet. But let's just say those just 5 Hive Fleets, just by themselves, are already a huge threat. And they're not all fighting the orcs right now. There's some in like the Ultramar section. I believe there was some fighting on Baal or Baal, however you pronounce that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's quite a threat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. The way you put it, simply, it's the Tyranids are a huge threat to not just the orcs but everything. And then if they were being pushed back, that kind of make me believe that maybe they're able to like goopify spores, orc spores. So maybe that's not why they're not like pushing them back. That's why they're getting pushed back.
Yeah, there's a fan fiction too. I forget what it's called. I think, no, you haven't created a 40 facts video on it, but basically what ends up happening is that the Tau take orc spores and fuse them with Tyranids, and they create one super powered like entity that they can control, because like the old ones controlled the Krork, the Tau control these new orc Tyranid hybrids. So that's always a possibility that there would be a hybrid of sorts.
That's interesting. I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Was that like in a codex or something?
No, it's a fan fiction.
Oh.
It's like I forget what it's called. And you don't actually follow the Tau. You follow a space marine captain who got stuck in the warp and got released back in 50K. Something crazy like that. His companion is 2 other space marines and a Demirug. Which is interesting.
It is interesting.
Next question.
This one's by Drew Stremick. What is one unit that you think each faction needs in order to make it better? Also, please give a better answer than just saying a transport.
Okay. 2 transports.
A double-decker transport.
It's hard to say with armies that we don't really play, so let's start with the ones that we know like very well. Orcs and Tau. We just do Tau first.
I think, although it contradicts the Tau, they need something similar to that of a Psyker. Because I don't want Tau to have like a good close combat unit, because that kind of... They're supposed to be a shooty army. So if they focus on maybe like have like a faction, like how you have Vespers and Kroot, have like the polar bears that fly, have those be like the psychic support or something like that.
That's actually good, yeah. And that makes sense because if you would throw in a close combat unit, it's like, okay, you got one unit. What's that gonna do?
Right.
That's how I felt when I used to play the orcs and they sucked at shooting. It's like, cool, I got killer cons, but that's all they do. I guess they're my guns. Anyways, okay, orcs. Orcs are really well balanced right now. If anything, I think they would do. It would do them good if they had, like a better God School Mag Orc Thraka. Like buff him up to the point where he is another Gilliman for the orcs. Yeah.
Primarch orcs.
Yeah.
Primorcs.
What about the Grey Knights?
Grey Knights they just need more troops. More variety too, but I understand they're like a specialist unit. They're supposed to be elite, so you're not going to have a lot of them on the ground to do the work that you need them to do. Maybe just get like, I don't know, like a cheaper version of Paladins or Terminators, something along those lines.
As far as the Adeptus Mechanicus, I kind of feel the same way as the Tau. They kind of need a better Psyker. They have the, I think they're called Electro Mages.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not that great. And it's funny because like it's the Adeptus Mechanicus, so there's so much cool things. There's so many cool things you can do with like psychic powers and a machine. So
in 7th edition, there is a whole discipline to machines.
For psychic abilities?
Yeah, because this is what I really hate about 8th edition. They really kind of shaved all the awesomeness of psychic powers down. Because they had pyromancy, fulmination, you had the librarius discipline, geomancy. There was so many disciplines that you could give to your librarian, and now it's like, oh, pick between these like 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that really sucks. Hopefully they bring that back, because when I heard about that, that is what literally drove me to love my Grey Knights again. Because now I could have like a Grey Knights faction that's really, really good using lightning. Psychic abilities, or they're really good using fire psychic abilities. But now it's like, just use smite. So maybe they'll bring that back.
Yeah. And then yeah, the other factions we're not too familiar with.
Yeah, even though I play Space Marines and Chaos, I don't play them too often to know what they need. But
that's how I feel about Imperial Fist. Yeah. I think I've played them once. Next question comes from Gavin Warnock. Has there ever been a situation or battle that was won due to the direct influence of an Imperial Stormtrooper, or perhaps a scenario where the Stormtroopers have a significant presence on the battlefield? There is one huge scenario, and that was during the Horus versus Emperor thing. The first person to encounter Horus was actually a Stormtrooper, which back then they were some type of elite unit. They weren't called Stormtroopers, but they're basically the same thing. And he actually weakened Horus's armor, which allowed Horus to, or which allowed the Emperor to attack Horus. There is also that's a theory, because there's like 3 different things. One say that Horus did that on purpose. The other one says that Sanguinius was the one who left that chink in the armor. And the other one is that it was an Imperial...
Alanius Pius.
There you go. That dude.
He was a perpetual that may or may not have been there.
Oh, then there's 4. Because in the story that I read, he was just a
regular guardsman.
Yeah.
That's another story, too.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one big one. Next question.
Bunny Hop asks, what time is it? Adventure time!
It's over.
It is over.
Yeah. Next question comes from Jim Dighton. Have you two ever had sex?
Who has it nowadays?
Yeah.
It's 2019.
Mm-hmm. You're born having sex.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're cisgender for life.
Iron Stark. If the plan to save the Eldar works and they gather all the Crone Swords, restore Iniad to full power, and he's able to defeat Slaanesh or make him cough up the Elder Souls, then what do you think this will have on the galaxy?
Effect.
That's a lot. Because first you're saying all the Crone Swords are there, which at this point they're only missing like 1. I don't think they're going to be able to kill Slaanesh off probably the second option, probably get all the souls back, and that would severely weaken Slanesh. But say that scenario did happen, I don't feel like they'll still be back at the top of their game. They're severely crippled in terms of just bodies. There's not enough Eldar for them to once again be at the golden age of their time. But I think with them weakening Slanesh to that point, that's going to greatly bolster all the other races in the galaxy and kind of make chaos go down like a peg or two.
Yeah. I don't really know what they're doing with the lore. I feel like they brought Iniad back. They have all this cool stuff.
And that's it. It's like, oh, we did all this to help ourselves, but in reality, we just brought back Gilliman.
Yeah. Which I get why they did it, business standpoint. Everybody owns a Space Marine army. But then you're just, like, neglecting the Eldar. Kind of like you neglected the Orcs during Orktober, and we didn't get shit.
Didn't all the stuff come out, like, the month after?
The good stuff came out the month after, yeah. Next question comes from Joel Garson. How many bitches does the Warhammer game bring in? So many that we had to sequester ourselves in this room away from all the madness that is bitches be crazy sometimes.
Speaking of bitches, L Wizard 5. Question. Who wins? A Krutox or a Grotesque? So the Krutox is those like ape-like Kroot that have like that big gun on the back that other Kroot ride. And the Grotesque is basically a slave that the Dark Eldar have gotten and a homunculus has pumped steroids, drugs, toxins, maybe even hacked off an arm or two and replaced it with like buzzsaws or tentacles. And the cherry on top is they got a lobotomy. If you want more lore on that, I did a what was it? Grimdark Battle, a Grotesque against a Gene Stealer Aberrant. So check that out. But to answer your question, I gotta give it to the Grotesque.
Me too. It's still alive. Like, it's still sentient. It's more sentient than a Krutox.
Right. So it has a lobotomy, but like a Krutox has been kind of devolved in a way.
It's an animal. It's like a dog versus
the killing
machine. I don't wanna... Well, yeah. I was gonna say something else, but I don't want to say that because it would be offensive. Yes.
Next question.
Defool06. Is there a Space Marine chapter that specializes in deploying Dreadnoughts? I mean, like, they have and use more Dreadnoughts than other chapters. Happy New Year, guys. Greetings from Antarctica.
What the heck?
You don't live in Antarctica. Anyways, a specialist unit deploying Dreadnoughts.
Oh, that's right.
There is a unit, and we did a 40 facts video on it, or not a unit, a chapter. I can't remember the name. Iron Hands have a lot of, like, Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name, man.
It escapes me. I know there is one.
Yeah.
But I can't. It'll come to us.
I should start just rewatching all of our old videos. It's our Space Marine chapter videos. We did a lot. Next question.
Merrick Rajelski. Hey guys, you're awesome as always. How did you come up with your cool nicknames? Is Gersh 1 the first in a long line of Gershes? Do you brew noises in your alchemy lab? Stay cool. Love your work.
So, I got my name from the Sound Alchemist. One day I came over to his house. He was eating a gusher he was eating a gusher while watching Usher, and he combined the two together and he called it Gersher. And Gersher evolved into Gershwin, and then finally it evolved into Gersh. And I am number 1 because I am the first one. And there will be a long line of Gershes as long as my sperm hasn't been completely destroyed by putting my laptop on my lap when I work. But yeah.
Either that or the warp. The energy is just like go straight to the testes is what I've heard.
Yeah.
I've been castrated, so that can't happen to me.
How did you come up with your Sound Alchemist?
You're like, all right, obviously you can't. What do you say? You can't use your name because it's not like awesome enough. So come up with something. And
I didn't say it wasn't awesome enough. I just said if we get big like PewDiePie, you don't want your real name out there.
You're right. Or also, like, well, I'm pretty sure PewDiePie had his real name out there. But I'm saying, like...
Well, now he does because he got big.
You're right. But it's like, do you want to be known as, like, John Doe? Or make up a cool name, like PewDiePie?
Exactly.
And I literally felt like that Mr. Krabs meme where everything was, like, shaking. And I was, like, shook. And I'm like, crap, I need a name. And that's just the first thing that came out.
Pussy.
I mean, yeah, I was making noises in my alchemy lab, and it's kind of like when you stir alphabet soup, and then you kind of see it.
Well, hold on. Alchemy came, or the alchemist part came because that's your favorite anime.
Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is hands down #1 anime.
And the sound part is because you do make noises. Ah! Yes.
I thought it was because I'm safe and sound.
Oh, that too, I guess.
No.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, second favorite anime, Quarry in the House.
Last question. Kylo Gayon. What's the song at the end of your guys' video? That is a song that is produced by a guy called Municipal Vice, and we have we have a link to his SoundCloud in the description. We talk about it every time. He puts out songs every now and then. He is a Chicago-based DJ, a friend. He has something new. Oh wow, cool. He has new music, so check him out. But the name of the song is called "I Thought I Had Seen It All" by Municipal Vice.
And there's a link to it. If you go to our description, it's the last one that says Beats by Biz20.
That's for the other one.
Right, the other one.
The Municipal Vice one is SoundCloud /
Yeah, that's at the top.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Yes!
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. You guys know what to do. If you guys want to ask us about anything, and I mean anything, just comment down in the comment section below. This was Gershwan,
the Sound Alchemist.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation. I knew I never had that much to lose.